I promised the dog fight. I also promised the full Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence experience, and that's exactly what y'all got. But it came with a W.
You are Locked On Jaguars, your daily Jacksonville Jaguars podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
It is, in fact, your team every day. We thank you for making us your first listen here on Locked On Jaguars. I'm Tony Wiggins, the host of the Locked On Jaguars podcast that you can find wherever you get your podcast. As long as you tap into that location each and every day, whether you watch or listen, you will see me hosting this podcast. I got to let you know also, and thank you for listening to Locked On NFL, reminding you that you can follow our show and hear new episodes ad-free daily on Amazon Music. So go check that out. All right, we're here with a post-game show. The Jacksonville Jaguars win 31-28 versus the Kansas City Chiefs in a game that was as wild as a roller coaster ride. And I said earlier that I ain't never done shrooms, but I kind of felt like whatever I was experiencing tonight was exactly what those people experienced. I might need to find out from Aaron Rodgers that ayahuasca, whatever that is he's talking about, because it seems like that's the roller coaster ride that we went on. And amazing night. It was a night to remember. It's a song by Shalimar that I used to absolutely love called Night to Remember. And that's what we're going to talk about in this first segment. We're going to talk about Trevor Lawrence and how he rose to the occasion. And in segment number 2, we'll get to Devin Lloyd, Mr. If the season ended right now, he would be the defensive player of the year. But I'm not going to bog you down with numbers and stats. We'll do that tomorrow on our regular Locked On Jaguars podcast, a full 3-segment podcast. Right now, I'm going to talk to you about this football team and that quarterback, man. I mentioned Ben Roethlisberger as a new target for Trevor Lawrence because no matter how bad he played, I remember he won a Super Bowl when he only threw for 120 some odd yards, like 123. It was like 9 out of 23 for maybe even like 106 or 116. He'd be down and running around and things wouldn't be going his way and he'd throw interceptions, even against the Jaguars. Y'all remember he threw some picks against the Jags. And all of a sudden, just when he needed to do something, he did it. The drive tonight at the end of the game, after the Jaguars had taken a 24-21 lead and they kicked off, and the Chiefs basically ate up about 7 or 8 minutes on the last drive, and then did the worst possible thing, and that score a touchdown. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, they just know how to win. That's how a team plays when they know how to win. And then Trevor gets the ball back, minute and a half. I think it was like a minute and 45 seconds. They used 2 plays up, and it was 3rd and 8. They had only gained 2 yards. 2. And it was a 101 left. And somebody said they used up 45 seconds on those 2 plays. Trevor scrambling, running around, not taking timeouts. And then he does what we all thought that they were going to be able to do this year. He hails one down the sideline, a perfect pass to Brian Thomas Jr., who caught it, got his feet got his feet down, and went out of bounds. Then another pass to De'Ami Brown, and then a penalty. And then after that, they get the ball. You think they got 2 more plays. Trevor backs up from center, falls, gets up, falls back down. But on his 3rd try, it sounds like an Easter Sunday sermon. On the 3rd try, he got up and he rose. And instead of trying to throw the ball or throwing the ball away and making this a one-play game, Trevor Lawrence took off and ran and dove into the end zone. Ironically, early in the night, he tried to dive in on a sort of a tush-push sort of play and got the ball knocked out of his hand in the first quarter when the Jaguars could have scored a touchdown. And they left with no points. And then later on in the second half, there was pass interference. It was still very, very crowded. In fact, there were 3 options on the play. You could have tried Parker Washington, but he got held up. And I think they ruled it as incidental contact because it wasn't an illegal pick. They just bumped into each other because of the way it went. And the tight end that went out, whose man bumped into Parker, was open. But Travis Hunter was open, wide open, on a crosser right in the middle of the field. And the ball got intercepted. Doesn't matter that it wasn't necessarily his fault. It happened. And that was adding to this full experience that we get with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So many things going against them. There was no confidence in the press box with 1:44 or 1:45. There was really no confidence on 3rd and 8 from their own territory with 1:01 left to play. And Trevor Lawrence delivered. He delivered. And this team grew up. We saw them grow up because they won a game against a really good team that used to do that, that are customarily doing stuff like that to other teams. I was all prepared to come in here and say they lose 28-24, no moral victories. They got to clean up some stuff. We'll talk about that stuff tomorrow. Tonight, we celebrate. Tonight, we go on and keep the party going. Tonight, I'm not talking about anything bad about this football team because they're 4-1. They're tied at the top of the AFC South. And they did this in front of a national TV audience where they put people on notice that they will never quit. They will never, ever quit. And I hear that the people on the broadcast, Troy Aikman, I heard they started using my term gritty. It's not mine. I even heard that Marcus Spears, my man Swagoo, he used the term gritty. I saw the word gritty all over the place. Y'all listen to Locked On Jaguars each and every day, and you know that is something that I have been saying that, hold on, when it comes to Trevor and when it comes to this team, it might not be pretty. It might just be gritty. And I'm fine with that. Absolutely fine with it. Still very opportunistic. Didn't quite run the ball the way that they have been running it. Got banged up and have some injuries. But never mind that. Your Jacksonville Jaguars are 4-1. Did it on national TV to shut up a bunch of people about this city. Stadium full of folks. Happy. Liam Cohen impressed me as he walked off the field, because he looked like he expected to win. The Jaguars are a good team. They can be even better if they clean some stuff up, stuff that we'll talk about tomorrow. But I want to talk about the dude that is right now leading the charge to be the Defensive Player of the Year in the National Football League. That is Mr. Devin Lloyd, Mr. soon-to-be either extended or franchise tag Devin Lloyd. We'll do that in just a second here on Locked On Jaguars. All right. You know the old saying, look good, feel good. The problem is most dress clothes only check one of those boxes. They look sharp but feel stiff, hot, and high maintenance. That's where Mizzen & Main comes in. Mizzen & Main makes classic menswear with performance fabric, so it's effortless to look sharp and feel comfortable. They actually invented the performance fabric dress shirt over 10 years ago, and they've perfected it ever since. You know, I got a little extra now. I'm a big dude, so I'm big in some places anyway. You know what I'm saying? This is what happens when you get a little bit older. Things ain't kind of measuring up the way that they used to. But Mizzen & Main's clothes help me look fabulous, and nobody can tell that I had a couple of surgeries and need to get myself in shape. Right now, Mizzen & Main is offering our listeners 20% off your first purchase at mizzenandmain.com with the promo code LOCKEDONNFL20. That's Mizzen. I'm going to spell it for you. MIZZEN. And Main, MAIN.com, promo code LOCKEDONNFL20 for 20% off. And if you'd rather shop in person, you can find Mizzen & Main stores in select states. Y'all also know what time it is, man. I hope you won you some Skrilla tonight on FanDuel because it's that time of year. We're 5 games in right now. The Jaguars are 4-1. And right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I just love the fact that FanDuel gives you information, like they say, pre-snap, right? Well, before the game starts, you can read up all the literature, the trends, and the tendencies of those players and teams to come up with something that'll help you win you some money. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Today's show is also sponsored by Rougier Ready. Man, you better get yourself together with some Rougier, because you know what to do when you have a bald eagle standing on top of a silverback gorilla riding a T-Rex. You get confidence. That's right, pure confidence. If you're looking for something beyond that usual pill, it's time to meet Rougier Go Long. All right then. Guys, you probably heard of Viagra or Cialis. Maybe you've even tried them, but if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rougier Go Long. If you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, that is the way to go. That's exactly where Rougier Go Long comes in. It's just another ED pill. It's not just another ED pill. It's a total game changer for confidence. The process is simple. Connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online, and if prescribed, your treatment ships directly to your door. If prescribed, your treatment will show up when it's supposed to. Ready to level up your confidence in the boardroom? Head to Rougier.com. That's RUGIET.com, and use the promo code LOCKEDONNFL for 15% off your first order. That's Rougier.com, promo code LOCKEDONNFL. Make sure to use the code so they know we are the ones who sent you. All right, moving and grooving here on Locked On Jaguars on a victorious Monday. They say Trevor got up, so it's Resurrection Monday. That's what they're going to call it. So he got up on the third try and was able to keep his wherewithal about himself and go score a touchdown and make the Jaguars a 31-28 winner against the Kansas City Chiefs. In the second half, early in the second half, the Chiefs looked like they were about to go back up. It was 14-14. It looked like they were about to go ahead. Devin Lloyd had something to say about it, though. He got a pick. After being down 14-0, Devin Lloyd intercepted Patrick Mahomes at the 1-yard line of the Jacksonville Jaguars and ran 99 yards for a touchdown. I think there may have only been 2 or 3 times, maybe a Rasheed Mathis pick six of Ben Roethlisberger on a Sunday night, Fred Taylor running back a play against the Dolphins in the playoffs, and probably Keenan McCardell earlier that season catching a bomb against Dan Marino and those Miami Dolphins on a Monday night. Other than that, I don't think I've ever heard that place that loud, and I was in the press box, but the place went absolutely bananas. That is his 4th interception of the year. He leads not just linebackers. Devin Lloyd leads all players in the National Football League with 4 picks. He also, in my opinion, leads everybody when you ask me who so far is the defensive player of the year, him along, of course, with the great Myles Garrett. Devin Lloyd is playing lights out. Didn't get his contract extension, his 5th-year extension picked up. He didn't pout. He didn't sulk. You know what he did? He just went along with the program of Anthony Campanile and his defense. He played a pivotal role, and he got better. Can you imagine coming into this year if I would have told you that as consistent as Foye Oluokun has been, Foyesade Oluokun has 500 tackles. He has over 500. He got his 500th tackle during the first half in this game tonight. And he's been with the Jaguars now 3 or 4 years. If I could have told you there'd be a dude standing next to him that would be just as good or better. If I'd have told you that it wouldn't be Josh or wouldn't be Trayvon, who's a close second, he did not play tonight, that this dude Devin Lloyd would look like the best defensive player on the field. That's what he did again tonight, and that's with Chris Jones on the other side. He did it last week against Fred Warner and the 49ers. This is not a fluke. That kid is for real. Devin Lloyd is the real deal. He's going to get some money. He's going to get it from the Jaguars, too. I don't know if they're going to try to work out an extension. I don't know if they can say, hey, man, we'll just ride it out to the end of the year. We can always franchise tag him or sign him to a deal right before free agency. I have no idea, but I can tell you what, they ain't letting him get out of here. Devin Lloyd is going to be a Jacksonville Jaguar for a long, long time, and he should. But this is what it's all about, man. It's about guys stepping up and making plays when they have to make them. people sitting there talking about the Jaguars ain't using Travis Hunter. People that I respect talk about Travis Hunter too. They ain't using him right. Well, you know what? He made some huge, huge plays tonight. Another catch and run where he shook somebody out of their shoes and then shook another dude and made him fall down like it was an and one basketball move. And then he made one of the best plays of the night on a play. It was a broken play where he was bracketed. Trevor Lawrence threw it up in the double coverage. He went and got it, and Willie Mays cradled it while he was in the air getting hit and twisted and came down with the ball. Caught another big pass that set up the field goal that allowed the Jaguars to go up by 3 before Kansas City milked the clock all the way down before they scored that touchdown at the end of the game, and then the Jaguars took it over after that. But if they don't get those extra 8 yards from when he caught the pass after there was a sack or a penalty, and then on third down, it was third and I believe 15, and they threw it to Travis. He shook somebody else and got some extra yards, got the ball back in the middle of the field, and Cam Little came in and kicked the field goal that put the Jaguars up by 3 points. People are making plays. They are making plays. Now, they got to get healthy. You got a lot of guys banged up. They got to get healthy. You saw people leaving the game tonight. Travis wasn't even in the game late because even he got banged up a little bit earlier. But the good part about this is, even though they got a short turnaround and they got a game against Seattle, we'll go over more of that. The good part about this is they're 4-1. They're 4-1, and it looks like Brian Thomas Jr. is over whatever was ailing him. Dallamy Brown came back and made a critical catch. Parker Washington also got involved. The kickoff game got a little bit better in the second half, although the coverage still made one mistake and allowed the Chiefs to get too much good field position. But this team grew up. Liam Cohen grew up. The Jaguars are growing up right before your eyes. Trevor Lawrence is forging this new identity that is probably nothing like everyone thought it would be when he came out of Clemson, but it doesn't matter what it looks like. It matters what the results are. And the results tonight are another victory by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Make sure you do two favors. One, tune in the morning because Tyler Rowland, the Madman, is going to open it up on Locked On NFL for you like a double shot of espresso. I'll slide back by in the afternoon on Locked On NFL at 2 o'clock. So make sure you check out the AM and PM versions of that because I'm sure the Jaguars will be discussed on Tyler's show. But then tomorrow I will also drop around 11 or 12, about the same time I normally do, another episode of Locked On Jaguars where we'll go 3 segments and talk about this game, what else they have to do, where this team is. But right now, they sit tied at the top with the Indianapolis Colts at 4-1. And I couldn't be happy for Jaguars fans, man. Y'all have earned it. You guys showed up, showed out, made this environment everything it was supposed to be. Tip of the hat to y'all. Tip of the hat to the coaching staff, the players, everyone in the building that made tonight possible. Y'all take care. We'll see you next time. We don't take you for granted either. Thank you for spending these 18 minutes with me after 1 o'clock in the morning. We'll see you next time here on Locked On Jaguars.